Three guys who blocked an old lady using an ATM soon find out why they should not have meddled with her. While on her way to the ATM, Winnie was somewhere lost in her thoughts. Winnie was thinking how it was a bad day, and indeed it was a bad day. Much worse than she was thinking of it to be. She was just hoping for the next ATM to be in working condition. She didn't notice that she was walking on an almost empty road. There was hardly anyone there, and usually she never takes the empty lanes. Even she was aware of the threats that the city was full of and the type of people who are always looking for someone they can rob. Steal phones and snatch handbags, especially from ladies like Winnie. Winnie was always walking at a fast pace. She always had something about her personality that made people turn around to look at her, a pinch of elegance. But today there was no one on the road and she stopped to catch her breath. When she stopped, she started to feel uneasy, but it seemed nothing worth being concerned about. She didn't know that she was marked and someone was waiting for the right time to pop up. She noticed the ATM a few steps away from her, and without wasting any more time, she started looking for her card in her handbag. She wasn't able to find the card immediately when she heard someone behind her. The old woman felt a bit awkward about taking too long and making the person behind her wait. Looking for her card, she said, "You go ahead," to the person who stood right behind her. "I'll be a minute." She gave the permission. The woman who was waiting behind her was thankful, and she passed by her to use the ATM. As Winnie was concentrating on where exactly she kept her card, Winnie didn't notice that trouble was following her. The moment Winnie took out her card from the bag, she could feel that someone was following her. She thought of it to be just another person in line waiting for Winnie to hurry, so she walked to the ATM, swiped her card. From one, there were now three strangers standing behind her. Even then, she didn't feel suspicious, and there was a reason behind her casual approach. Winifred was from an age when people used to interact more. Luck had never been too hard on her. She never met a person who broke her trust and always believed in the saying, "Give kindness, receive kindness back." She did notice three shadows on the wall, but never thought these people might attack her. As soon as Winnie entered her PIN, pressed the continue button, and it made the beep sound, the three men entered the ATM. Ideally, no one should enter the ATM when someone's already using the machine, as it's their personal information. She turned back and the three men pushed her. She didn't know what just happened. It all happened in the blink of an eye. She couldn't see properly. The guys were shouting at her, trying to know how much more money's left in her account. She didn't speak a word. Realizing how risky the situation she was in, they could stab her just like that and run away with the money that just got out of the machine. They forced her to stand up and enter her PIN again. The lady stood back up and made her mind. The guys grabbed her in her hand tightly, but to everyone's surprise, what was going to happen within the next 4 minutes inside that ATM was the most unexpected thing. Although she wasn't able to see clearly, Winnie had made up her mind. "You're not taking my money, young man," she uttered in a low tone. The speed with which these guys entered the ATM and pushed her, Winnie's next move was faster than the youngsters. The three guys were stunned to see what was happening to them. Winnie recalled that these were the same guys who were arguing in front of the bank earlier in the morning. These guys messed with the wrong granny. She jumped at the nearest person and used her full energy to push his head to the wall. The guy was completely under Winnie's control now, and the other two guys in shock. Winnie wasn't intending on letting him go. Seeing Winnie's sudden reaction, the guys tried to get the third person out of the old lady's grip. Both the guys together made efforts and finally got their friend freed from the old lady's tight grip. They were scared and weren't going to fight back, but Winnie was now not going to let them go that easy. The guys ran away. Amid the rush, they left her money right there, and Winnie was just realizing what she had done. Yes, it was an achievement, but she soon realized what could have been the consequences of all this. It was a moment of reflection. Winnie recalled, "It was only afterwards that I realized what I'd done and started shaking." She added, "What if he'd had a knife? I might not be here today." She was still in disbelief that she took such a major step, and sadly the story wasn't over yet. When people heard loud noises, they rushed towards the ATM. Instead of asking them for help, Winnie pointed in the direction where these three men ran towards. The people understood something just had happened. While one person stayed with her to save her, the others ran in the direction Winnie pointed at. The two men who tried to catch these youngsters missed them. The guys who forced the old lady thought this was over, but it wasn't. The police were informed and within 7 minutes arrived. Did they catch them? The police hurried to the location and started searching all around the ATM where the incident took place. They filed a report against 3 unknowns, but it didn't take the cops a long time to identify them. The guys were caught by the end of the day. Felix Stoica, 19, Piper Dumitru, 18, and Florin Giblescu, 18, were new in town. They moved to Bromborough from Manchester only to look for a weak person whom they could target. They thought Winnie would be the easiest one to handle. They were jobless and didn't want to do hard work and instead chose to be criminals. The idea was to target people who could be easily tackled. They always thought it was the easiest way to become rich without getting caught. In fighting back the teens, Winny got enough damage, but she managed to save herself. She was lucky that the guys weren't carrying any harmful weapon. Winny was taken to the hospital where the doctor did dressing of her wounds. Do you want to know how she got so much strength to fight back? For most of her life, Winifred had been visiting the gym at least 4 times a week. Yes, she wasn't in for any hardcore exercises, but she never forgot to keep herself maintained. She'd been quite active in her youth days. She even took defense classes for 6 months, and as if that wasn't all, Winny's not a short-tempered person, but when it came to her money and her respect, she couldn't handle it. She used all the strength to fight back and succeeded. She said how it was just so unbearable for her seeing these 3 guys trying to take her belongings out of her possession. What happened to the guys? When the cops caught the men, 1 guy still had a wound on his hand. The 3 people were taken into police custody and soon taken for trial. Winny was present there too. She wanted to see them getting the punishment they deserved. In front of the court, the guys finally accepted their crime. They did say they were sorry, but now it was too late. The judge said about their crimes and accused them of casting a shadow on Winny's laid-back life. Winny still wonders about the present generation's future. She was surprised when she got to know the age of these guys who tried to rob her. It was certainly a nightmare, but now when she tells her friends, kids, and grandkids about it, they get amused as to how she managed to stop it. Super granny indeed.